Hello, my name is Julius, and thank you for watching episode 51 of Applicable Applications. In today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about Tiny10, which is an application that can help your old devices by extending the longevity of them. Now, Tiny10 is developed by NetDev, and these guys managed to take Windows 10 and strip down all the bloatware and all the extra applications and make it smaller. And Tiny10 is only 6 gigabytes, so it allows you to install Windows 10 on an old device and be able to use that old device instead of having to go and get a new one, which is really good for anybody who may not have, the money to spend on getting the latest device. Now, Tiny10 is also good for Windows and Mac users because if you have an older Mac device from, I believe, 2019 and below, you have an application called Boot Camp. And what Boot Camp allows you to do is dual boot Windows and Mac OS on your device. So let's say, for example, you have a 2013 MacBook and you're not getting any more updates from Apple, but you don't want to spend the money on a new MacBook or Windows laptop. Well, you can go to NetDev's website and install Tiny10. Then you can open up Boot Camp and then install Tiny10 onto your MacBook device, now giving you a Windows laptop instead. So now you have Windows 10 running and you can continue to use that MacBook for a little bit longer. Also, this is great for anybody who, uses virtual machines, for example, VMware, VirtualBox, or Parallels, because Tiny10 is so lightweight and small. If you have maybe an older version running, or you just may not have enough space to, run the full version of Windows on your VirtualBox, you can take this Tiny10, install it on your virtual machine, and then you have a clean copy of Windows 10 running on that virtual machine. Now, I also want to mention NetDev not only has a stripped down, less bloated version of Windows 10, but they also have one for Windows 11 called Tiny 11, which once again removes all that excess files and bloatware, all those things that you won't need when installing Windows 10 or 11. It takes it all out, which is really great. Now, for installing Tiny10 on a older device like a MacBook, I will go ahead and show that for you guys. I personally have a 2015 MacBook, so I will go ahead and use Boot Camp and install Tiny10 and show you guys what that would look like. And then for anybody who plans on installing it on a older machine or older piece of hardware, towards the end of the video I will give you guys some screenshot steps on how to install that on an older device. Now, for anybody who's wanting to install Tiny10 on an older MacBook, what you would do is you would go to NetDev's website and then click on the link to download Tiny10. Now, this is where I came into a problem. It took a long while for Tiny10 to download Tiny10, the ISO file. Now, I know it depends on your internet speed, so for some people it might take 3-5 minutes, but for me, after like 20 minutes of downloading, I was at like 5%. So another way to go about that is you can download the torrent file using uTorrent. That is what you can use to open that torrent file, but it goes much quicker and it's much faster for anybody who has slow download speeds. So that's what I did. So once you download the torrent file and then use, you have things like QTorrent or uTorrent. You just use whatever app you want to use to open it. Once you open that file, then you have the Tiny10 ISO file. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're going to use to install Tiny10 on your MacBook. Now, once you have that ISO file downloaded, you're going to go into either your applications folder, or you can hit Launchpad and try and find it there, but you're going to search for Boot Camp. And then once you do, you're going to open it up. You're going to read some text, and then it's going to ask you to find that ISO file, or it might already have found it on your desktop, but you'll select that ISO file. It'll ask you to partition some space or save some space to install Tiny 10. So I have 1 terabyte of space. So I'm still using this MacBook. It's been serving me well, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go ahead and take half of my space and give that to Tiny 10, and just see how it runs from there. Once you do that, you'll just hit install. It'll install the process or install Tiny 10. Then it'll restart your computer. Once it does that, it's going to boot you up in Windows, and then you'll go through the whole setup process from there. Now, since I am doing all this recording on my computer, I won't be able to show you the steps, but I will put screen or pictures of what it looks like and what screens would come up as you're going through the installation process of Windows 10. But once you do that and you're done, you'll have fully booted up Windows 10. Then you'll have to install a couple more features for Boot Camp to help you properly run Windows on your MacBook. You might have to restart your PC again to get a couple more updates going. But once you do that, you're done and you will have installed Tiny 10. And you'll notice right away that if you hit the start button and look at the apps, there's a lot less apps that you would have if you installed, the regular version of Windows 10. All that's gone. Things like, the Microsoft Store, that's gone. And just, Internet Explorer, nobody really uses that, but it always comes with Windows 10. So now that's gone. But you still have, for example, Microsoft Edge to install apps, because obviously you need a browser to go about installing things. But that's where I'm going to end the video for today. In the next episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some tests on Tiny 10, see how it works for things like internet speed, maybe how playing games will work on it, because you cut down on all this space. Would it affect things like gaming? I'm also going to try some video editings, edit some audio, so you guys can kind of get an idea of how good Tiny 10 would be, and maybe if it's something for you, something you would want to install on an older device to help give it some more life. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching episode 51 of Applicable Applications. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode for part 2, where I'll be testing out Tiny 10 and seeing how it works.